Okay, this video is going to cover the scheduler setup, and we'll talk about setting up a daily scheduler, a weekly scheduler, and then we're going to talk a little bit about scheduler behavior, and we'll show a chart that covers typical scheduler behavior. So to program the scheduler, you're going to click on the Unit tab and then Manage Schedules. So we've got a existing schedule here, but what we're going to do first is create a new schedule. So you can create a new schedule by clicking the Add button here, or right-clicking in the Schedules column and then left-click on New Schedule Setup. So you're going to give your schedule a name and any description you want. You're going to select your unit type. We're going to be doing a Micromate schedule. And then you want to do some basic configuration here. The first schedule we're going to do is for a daily schedule. So you can have the Micromate just do a single day's worth of monitoring, or you can actually set the scheduler to repeat that, which is how we're going to use this. So we're going to monitor the same way every single day. The work hours here is not the scheduler programming itself. It just shows the work hours down below here. Now you can see we've got 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's what shows here. If you wanted to show a full day's worth, you would set it this way, and then you've got a full day's worth of scheduler to use. So for this example, we're going to start monitoring at 5 a.m. So we're going to go down to the 5 a.m. block, and we're going to double click on that block. We've got 4 actions to choose from. We're going to do a start monitor, and then we are going to select the setup file that we would like to monitor with at 5 a.m. And we're going to click OK. So the Micromate will know that we want to use the test setup file to start monitoring at 5 a.m. And then at 5 p.m., we're going to stop monitoring. So the scheduler is typically used for remote monitoring or to change setup files. For instance, if at 9 a.m. you wanted to start monitoring with a different setup file, you could do so, and it would the Micromate would switch over using the scheduler to the copy of the test setup file at 9 a.m. To delete a scheduler action, just click on the little X and then click OK to confirm that. If you're using a modem and you wanted to do a call home at some point during the day, you could add a auto call home action. The Micromate will also, if it's set to auto call home, it will also call home at the stop monitoring command at the end of the day. So with repeat daily set, the Micromate's going to start monitoring and then stop monitoring. And then after 5 p.m., it's going to go into what's called the scheduler mode. And it's going to stay in the scheduler mode until 5 a.m. the following day, and then it's going to start monitoring again. And it will do that 7 days a week. To save this file, we click OK. And then we'll see that the test scheduler file is saved over here in our database. And if we want to edit that, we can either right-click on it and do an edit schedule setup, or we can click on the edit button and then go in and make changes as we want. And click OK to save those changes. If you wanted to do a weekly scheduler instead of a daily, which is typically used, a daily scheduler would be used to do 7 days a week monitoring. A weekly scheduler is going to be used to do something less than 7 days a week. So we're just going to show that by adding a new schedule. We'll call this test weekly. And then we're going to click on week. And you can see we've changed. So now we have a full 7 columns. We're also going to do a repeat so that it will monitor the same way every single week. I'm going to expand the work hours. We're going to stay with 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. for this example. And we'll start with Sunday. We're going to start with a start monitoring command. And then we're going to add a stop monitoring command at 5 p.m. So we can easily copy these commands from one cell in the scheduler to another by right-clicking on the command and doing a copy, and then just go to the cell where you'd like to copy it to and do a paste. And we can just continue that all the way through. So for this example, we did start on Sunday. We actually don't want that. We want Monday through Friday. So we're going to take those out. And we're going to copy so we have all of our start monitoring. Then we're going to come down here to 5 p.m. on Monday and put our stop monitoring command in. And then we're going to copy and paste these. So we have our start monitor, 5 a.m., stop monitor at 5 p.m. And this schedule is going to run Monday through Friday. On Saturdays and Sundays, it will be in scheduler mode, just the same as it is in off hours during the week, so that we won't be monitoring. And this is an easy way to set up a weekly scheduler. Let's click OK. And then once these schedulers, here's our daily scheduler, here's our weekly scheduler. If you want to send these to the Micromate, right now they just exist in the database. What you're going to do is you're going to go over and select the Micromate. I'm not connected to any Micromates currently, so these are all X'd out. But you would just select a Micromate that you were connected to, and you would do click the Send to Unit button down here at the bottom of this units column, and it will send the scheduler file and the actual setup file itself to the Micromate so that those are both in the Micromate's memory. The next thing I'm going to discuss is the scheduler behavior at certain monitoring modes and if monitor while calling home, which is a feature on the Micromate that continues the histogram file while the Micromate is actually uploading data to THOR. And this chart covers 8 scenarios in histogram combo monitoring mode. And then the third column shows the scheduler command. The fourth column shows monitor while calling home as either on or off. And then the fifth column, behavior, shows the behavior of the micromate at the scheduler command when monitor while calling home is either on or off. So the first row, the micromate behavior while the command is start monitoring with monitor while calling home on. If the unit is idle, it will start monitoring. And that should say if it's in scheduler mode, it will start monitoring. If the unit is monitoring and it reaches a start monitoring command, then it will break or stop the existing histogram, copies the histogram via auto call home, and then starts a new histogram. But the start monitoring command does not delete the events from memory, nor will it sync time with THOR. So that's very important. If you don't want the memory cleared, this is fine. But if you do want the memory cleared, you don't want to use this command in your scheduler, because it will not delete the event memory or sync the time with THOR. If you've got monitor while calling home off in the scheduler, hits a start monitoring command, it will start monitoring if it's in scheduler mode. It will stop the histogram. It will copy the data via auto call home, and then it will delete the data in memory and sync time with THOR, and then it will start a new histogram. So the benefits of that are you do get the memory deleted and the time sync, but you would have dead time because the unit would not be monitoring while it was calling home. The auto call home command do have high functionality in the scheduler because they do allow the data to be deleted and the time synced, and you also will start a new histogram. So the behavior is the same for both of these third and fourth rows, whether monitor while calling home is on or off. When the scheduler has an auto call home command in it, the unit stops the histogram, copies data via the auto call home, deletes data in memory, syncs time with THOR, and starts a new histogram. The stop monitor command works in a similar way as the auto call home, but the histogram, this chart is a little misleading. The histogram, the new histogram is not going to be started until you get to a start monitor command. So I really only use stop monitoring when I've got distinct monitoring periods used for the day. If you're trying to accomplish a 24/7 monitoring, you don't really want to use the stop monitor command. You want to use something like the auto call home. And then the bottom two rows here, these are for waveform triggers and the behavior of the scheduler during a waveform trigger. And that just depends on if your monitor while calling home is on or off. If your monitor while calling home is on, then the histogram is not broken. It's continued. Only the waveforms are transferred via auto call home. Data is not deleted and the time does not sync. Whereas if you had auto call home on and you also had monitor while calling home off, then the histogram is continued until the waveform is completed, and then the histogram is stopped, and both the waveform and the histogram are uploaded via auto call home. The memory will be deleted and the time sync will happen. And then a new histogram is started after the auto call home process completes. So that's just a little bit about schedule behavior and how to use and program the scheduler for the Micromate using THOR.